GM. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Crypto IQ Finals. I'm your host, Kelvin Sparks, a podcast host at The Block. And today we're continuing our quest to find the smartest person in crypto. We've got two matchups for our second round and a lot of trivia packed with surprises, challenges, and of course, plenty of chances to win big. So, for the audience at home, it's still not too late to compete for the audience prize because we are upping the stakes with each round. As a reminder, audience members who follow CryptoIQ closely and participate will be eligible to win 2,500 USDC at the end of the Crypto IQ Finals tournament. As you can see, not only the GigaBrains get rewarded, but those who show interest and participate and really want to learn about crypto will also get a chance. So that being said, huge shout out to Polymarket for sponsoring today's event and helping make this trivia chaos possible. Jump on the waitlist on polymarket.com by using code THEBLOCK, that's THEBLOCK, all lowercase. Because sometimes the best way to stay informed is to see what everyone else is betting their confidence on. But without further ado, let's meet our contestants. So I made a mistake yesterday and said AK was the number 3 slot. I believe that's actually, AK is the 3 slot. FP Slow is our contestant in the 4th slot. So FP Slow, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well.
Nice. And how are you feeling about round 2 of the Crypto IQ Finals?
Yeah, a bit nervous. We'll see how hard the questions will be.
Fair game. I will say your opponent, the Thespian, is a GigaBrain as well, though he has an alternative background. But that being said, Opaque, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, excited for this. I've enjoyed watching the other 9. So yeah, excited to get back in the saddle.
Nice. Any memorable moments for you?
I like the fact that Luke did some research on chain IDs after watching my matchup. My money was on Luke, to be honest, so I'm surprised he didn't go through from the cause. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And even though he is eliminated, he was our highest scoring single round contestant thus far in Crypto IQ. I believe he got like 8 or 9 out of 10 correct, which was pretty crazy. Yeah, so you never know what could happen in the Crypto IQ Finals. But that being said, it's great to have both of you here. Now, let's get into how the game's going to work. So in this matchup, players will have to answer 10 questions. The questions are on random topics and could be of various types. Think multiple choice, rank order, free answer questions, even potentially some with visual cues. So questions are worth more points as the game progresses, but the difficulty of the questions increases as well. And most importantly, as the seconds tick, your questions will bleed points. So your objective is to answer as quickly and correctly as possible. So for once this year, ChatGPT will not be able to save you. We'll do a check about halfway to see how the total points tallies are looking. But in the end, the player with the most points at the end of this matchup will progress to our final 4. That being said, before we get into the game, can I get a verbal confirmation from both of you? Visual will be tough. But FB Slow, are you ready for the matchup?
Yes, I am.
And Opaque, are you ready for the matchup?
Yes, I am.
All right, without further ado, let's jump in. The first question is going to be a lore and culture question. Question number 1. This popular crypto casino migrated its token from Solana to Ethereum in 2023. Correct answer A, stake. Is it B, shuffle? Is it C, rollbit? Or is it D, luck.io? Let's see. All right, looks like we got 2 answers. FB Slow was slightly quicker, and you got that one correct. Both contestants. C, rollbit. All right, so I'm curious, FB Slow, you're a little quicker on the draw there. What were you up to in 2023 during what was a little bit of a crypto uptrend? I don't know, wasn't as confident, but what were you doing?
Yeah, I was on Rollbit and trading the token and like gambling on the hamster races in the summer of 2023. It was a fun time.
Understood.
But I wasn't really sure here if it was shuffle or Rollbit.
Ah, fair game. Why are you thinking it was shuffle?
I know they also have a token, but I don't remember Rollbit migrating from Solana.
Understood. That being said, contestants, please have your keyboards ready. The next one is going to be a free form. Let's move on to question number 2. When did Coinbase IPO? Nice. Looks like we have two answers that have been logged, but only one of them is correct. Opaque, you said 2022. That was incorrect. The correct
Okay, well,
answer was 2021. FP Slow got that one. Opaque, what's tripping you up, man?
I knew it was the top of the market, so I put it on 2022 was such a terrible year that I was like, oh, it's probably like the beginning of that. But yeah, as soon as I typed it in, I was like, yeah, no, it topped us in 2021. Rough.
Yeah, no worries. It happens. So close. But curious, during 2022, what were you doing in crypto?
Wishing had sold more NFTs. I think that's basically what I was doing in crypto.
Fair game, fair game. I will say I was sidelined that entire time, so at least you had fun. Maybe the gains were the friends you made along the way, but
Maybe.
I digress. Let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is a wild card. Tom Lee's Bitmine has stake in 8Co, which launched a blank digital asset treasury vehicle in 2025. Let's see what our answer choices are. Is the correct answer A, WorldCoin? Is it B, Bitcoin? Is it C, Ethereum? Or is it D, 8Coin? Let's see. All right. Both of our contestants answered. FB Slow, you were slightly quicker than Opaque there. You said B, Bitcoin. That was incorrect. And that one's going to go to Opaque. A, WorldCoin. You got 91 points there. So, Opaque, how'd you know this one?
I remember Tom Lee started shilling it on the timeline, and generally people only shill after they fill, so that was the main reason.
I like this. Very, very poetic. The way you got that one out. That was a bar for sure. But let's move on. The next one's going to be rank order contestants. Question number 4. Order these dexes by launch year. The top is the earliest. Let's see what the choices are. Looks like as A, there is Uniswap, as B, SushiSwap, C, Curve, and D, GMX. Let's see. All right, looks like FB Slow answered that one rather quickly. And nothing from Opaque just yet.
Should have
Let's
gone
see.
through.
Yep. Oh, just did. Sorry, the software is a bit slow on my end. But let's see. Opaque, you logged A, B, C, D. That would be Uniswap, Curve, SushiSwap, GMX. And that was correct. You got it. FB Slow, you had Curve, Uniswap, SushiSwap, and GMX. You flipped the first two. What was the thought process there? You missed it by that much.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about Uniswap and Curve, so I just guessed which one.
Understood. Understood. And curious, FP Slow, are you still big into Ethereum DeFi? I believe you're building on Hyperliquid, correct?
Yes, I'm not really active on Ethereum much these days, but I still
Understood.
use like Aave and Uniswap.
Yeah, we had an Aave question yesterday. I know some of the finalists were a little upset about that one. But contestants, there are still 6 more questions remaining. We have one more, then we're going to do a check-in on the leaderboard to see how you both are faring. So let's move on to question number 5. Question number 5 is a lore question. When Luna collapsed, its supply ballooned to roughly how many tokens? Is the correct answer A, 6.5 million? Is it B, 6.5 billion? Is it C, 6.5 trillion? Or is it D, 6.5 quadrillion? Wow, that's a lot of Lunas. Let's see. All right. Both of our contestants answered. Only one was correct. Looks like FB Slow, you said 6.5 quadrillion was what the supply ballooned to, but that was incorrect. Opaque, you got that one right. C, 6.5 trillion is what the supply ballooned to. And curious, Opaque, were you affected by the Luna crash?
Yeah, I had friends that had put money in the 20% anchor. I used to work for Delphi Digital, so they were very invested in the ecosystem. And then obviously it led to 3 Hours Capital collapse and all the other stuff. So I think everybody that was around at that time was affected by it in some way.
Yeah.
And he just got sentenced to 15 years in prison. So
Yeah, that was crazy. One of the
interesting
things
to
I
answer that
saw,
question.
they cited the Anchor protocol, the guaranteed yield kind of thing
Yeah.
in some of the court case. So that was pretty crazy, and yep, that's a lot of time. But
I'm much happier with my funds in Hyperland, I will say.
is there another Hyperliquid Maxi over here? Goodness, all over
Yeah,
the
of course.
competition. All over the competition. But let's check it on the leaderboard to see how our finalists are doing. And I gotta say, this one is very, very close thus far. Opaque, you are in the lead. You have 4 questions correct so far, bringing you to a total of 292 points. But FB Slow, the favorite going into the contest, is not that far behind. 2 of 10 correct with 212 points. FB Slow, what are you thinking it takes to take this matchup home?
Yeah, it really depends on the questions. The last few were like I was always between 2 choices, wasn't really sure which one to pick, and I picked wrong both times.
Understood. And are there any style of questions or topics that you're hoping for going into the last 5?
Maybe chain IDs. But all the easy ones were already taken or used, so I'm not
Fair
sure if I
game.
actually want that.
Fair game. And Opaque, you are in the lead. What do you think it's going to take to bring this matchup home?
Faster answers.
Fair game. I will say you take your time, but you still get points. So every point matters in crypto IQ. And as you've seen, some of these can go down to single digits. That being said, both contestants, best of luck. I'll get a verbal confirmation, and then we will move on to the last 5 questions of the round. So, Opaque, are you ready for the final 5 questions?
I'm ready.
And FB Slow, are you ready for the final 5 questions?
I'm ready.
Let's move on to question number 6. Which of these is not a strategy perpetual preferred stock? Is the correct answer A, STRD? Is it B, STRF? Is it C, STRK? Or is it D, STRR? It's a wild card. Wow. Let's see. We had 2 answers come in, and looks like FB Slow, you said C, STRK. Opaque, you said D, STRR. But in the end, Opaque, you were correct. D, STRR was the answer. Looks like you got 119 points with that one. So, how much do you think DATs have an impact on the market? Is it adverse? Is it, net neutral? Is it positive for crypto overall?
I mean, I'm probably like a bit too idealistic for that. I don't love like TradFi taking over crypto anyway. So, but I understand that like that's what adoption looks like. But yeah, not a massive fan.
So, curious then, how important do you think the cypherpunk ethos is to the industry as a whole, given it seems like that's somewhat antithetical?
I think it's very important, and I think it needs to survive in some form. Even that's not like the top layer; it needs to survive at the protocol layer. So that's probably, not at the app layer, but definitely the protocol layer.
And I guess one last question. This is an interesting topic. What do you think your role is in carrying that ethos forward?
Storytelling, I guess.
Good answer. Nice. Anywho, the next one's going to be visual contestants. Please be ready for this one. Let's move on to question 7. Which protocol helped develop the MEV blocker RPC on Ethereum? Nice. Lightning quick. Both contestants answered, and both contestants were correct. The correct answer was B, choice 2. I can't actually see these images, so I don't know what was displayed. That being said,
It's 1 inch in cow swap.
Nice. Got it. That being said, FB Slow, how did you know the answer, and how are you so gosh darn quick?
Yeah, I know CoSwap is big in MEV protection, so
Understood. And are you a fan of the audio sound, that big moo that goes out of CowSwap every time you execute?
yes, I am.
Understood. What do you think the role is fund features, like these kind of Easter eggs have in UX and crypto overall?
I think they are quite important to make it a bit more fun.
Fair game. Fair game. I tend to agree. I almost jumped out of my seat the first time I heard it, but you learn to love it eventually. It's almost like a trauma bond kind of thing.
The one on Hyperbeat is terrifying, especially if you open it late at night. It's like Hyperbeat.
That sounds crazy. All right, I gotta add that one to my things to mess around with
Repertoire?
on chain. Yeah, exactly. Add it to my to-do list. All right. The next one's gonna be a lore question. Let's move on to question number 8. Which shadow bank collapsed with 850 million of Tether's money in 2018? So is the correct answer A, Banking Crypto? Is it B, Crypto Capital? Is it C, Crypto Financial? Or is it D, Bank of Crypto? Oof. Man. Let's see. Looks like Opaque, you were a bit slower to answer there. We got 2 answers from our contestants. Looks like FB Slow said C, Crypto Financial. But in the end, slow and steady, you got that one, Opaque. The correct answer was B, Crypto Capital. So, curious, man, you must have did a lot of memorization going into this because you're nailing these questions left and right. How are you doing so well? What's the secret sauce?
I'm just really upset that that wasn't a Silicon Valley or Silvergate question. This was a complete guess. It just sounded the least or the most ridiculous of all of them. So I was like, yeah, that seems like somebody that would lose 850 million would name a bank.
Understood. So how important is trusting your gut in crypto overall?
100%. I think too many people trust other people's guts and then they lead them astray.
Interesting. Can you expound upon that? That's like a very, very interesting point.
I think because a lot of crypto is completely unknowable and it's so speculative that you often listen to people that have previously made money or have been successful in making something, but then you're not getting the full picture of like what their portfolio looks like or what their angle is or are they getting paid, and also when their entries is and when their exit is. So you can follow somebody's gut on the way in and then they dumped on your head on the way out. So
yeah, very, very real.
So trust your gut, basically.
No, great. Thank you for sharing that wisdom with everyone listening, myself. Yeah, it's a gem for sure. All right, contestants, please have your keyboards ready. The next one is going to be a free-form question. Let's move on to question number 9. Ethereum had a hard fork in response to the 2016 denial of service attacks. That hard fork's name included a fruit. What is that fruit? Wow. This is indeed a tricky one. Let's see. All right. Looks like we had 2 answers. Okay. FB Slows just came in. Opaque, you said pear. FB Slow, you said apple. And unfortunately, neither of you were correct. The correct answer was tangerine or tangerine whistle. Yeah, I have no idea. To be honest, today I learned. That was the first one reading it. FP Slow, what were you thinking there?
Yeah, I had no idea about this one. It was just guessing.
Fair game. That was a good guess, though. But curious, when was the first time you'd heard of Ethereum?
2017, probably during the ICO phase.
Understood. Yeah, I think we're talking to Luke Cannon about ICOs and him being an enjoyer. What was, I guess, the most exciting thing in crypto at that time, in your opinion?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about crypto. I was very new at the time and was buying like ICOs, and pretty much all of them just went to zero in 2018.
Yeah, it tends to do that in the long tail, so unfortunate, but think of it as paying tuition rather than losing money. But I digress. Let's see how our contestants are doing as we go into the final question for the round. And Opaque, wow, your performance is rivaling that of Luke Cannon. You got 7 of 10 correct. going into the last question with a total of 762 points. That being said, FP Slow, a little behind. You've got 391 points, 3 of 10 correct. So, bit of a margin, but I'm not sure. Let's see how much the last question is worth actually points-wise. 400 points. So, this one could be for all the marbles. Gotta love Crypto IQ, folks. You can make it all back in one question, FP Slow. That being said, we'll get a verbal confirmation from you both, and then we will move on to the last question of the round. But before we do that, I have to remind the audience listening, please do stick around, as shortly after we announce the winner for this matchup, you two will have a chance to win big. That being said, we are giving away 2,500 USDC at the end of the Crypto IQ Finals tournament to a lucky participant at home who follows Crypto IQ closely and competes in the matchups. All you need to do is we'll have a QR code pop up. You'll scan that, enter your nickname, your X or Twitter handle, but most importantly, make sure you use the same email so that we can track your name across multiple matchups and sessions. That being said, we'll get this verbal confirmation. Our leader going into the final question, Opaque, are you ready for the last question?
I'm ready.
And FP Slow, I'll get a verbal confirmation. Are you ready for the last question?
Yes, I am.
All right. Next one's going to be a technical question. Let's move on to question 10. Which bottleneck dominates recursive ZK-proof aggregation at scale? Is the correct answer A, FFT depth? Is it B, hashing schemarity? Is it C, elliptic curve operations? Or is it D, transcript scan? Excuse me, it's early, I forgot how to read. Or is it D, transcript handling overhead? Let's see. Looks like both our contestants answered in the time it took me to read that tongue twister. And it looks like both contestants were correct. Okay. So, this is going to be interesting, as only one of you will be leading in points, and that's determined by who answered more quickly. Let's see. Wow. FP Slow, you were quicker to answer that one. And you got it right. But Opaque, you were a bit slower. You got the question correct too. This is interesting because it's going to come down to a few points differential here. Before we reveal this, I'm curious, Opaque, you got it right, but you took your time. What was your thought process there in answering?
I really hope I get the right question. I really hope I get the right answer. I was trying to figure out what sounded like it would be ZK proof related, and elliptic seemed like it rang a bell somewhere, so that's what I went with.
Understood. And FB Slow, you answered that one lightning quick. Do you think you had enough to come back and take the lead?
No, I don't think I have enough.
Fair game, but I will say it was a outstanding performance in the Crypto IQ Finals tournament. But before we reveal the leaderboard, I have to read the stats on this one because this is pretty cool. FB Slow, you answered in 4.929 seconds for a total of 301 points. And Opaque, this is what's going to decide it. You answered in 14.502 seconds with a total of 110 points. And Opaque, you will be advancing to the Crypto IQ Final Four. Congrats. Job well done. Job well done. So, as somebody who just came into this competition memorizing lines, and now you're beating developers, was this everything you thought it would be, and what are you expecting going into the Final Four?
More sleepless nights.
Fair game. That's a lot of crypto on the line, so I understand it, and best of luck going forward. That being said, FB Slow, you had an amazing performance in the Crypto IQ Finals. Any words of wisdom or advice for people at home who would like to be in your position?
Just keep learning and pay attention to crypto every day, and you'll probably in like a couple years will remember at least a few things.
That's great advice, honestly. Take it a day at a time. And yeah, just curious, FP Slow, before you head off, man, uh, what was the hardest part of your journey to become one of the smartest people in crypto?
Uh, Probably just staying in crypto also during the bear markets when nothing is the prices are down, nothing is happening. Just staying here and paying attention.
Yep. Well said. Well said. That being said, FP Slow, thank you for joining us, and best of luck as you continue to dev on Hyperliquid. I'll definitely be following your journey. So, cheers to you. All right. Now that we've announced our winner who will be advancing, we're going to move on to the audience participation portion of this matchup. That being said, please pay attention to the stream. You should see QR code to join the audience competition. As a reminder, audience members who follow Crypto IQ closely will be eligible to win 2,500 USDC at the end of the Crypto IQ Finals tournament. All you need to do is follow each matchup and participate in the audience member questions. So please do not worry if you miss the first few matchups. There's still time to catch up to the leaders as we get close to the Final Four. The questions will be worth more points. So please provide your nickname, your X or Twitter handle if you'd like, but most importantly, use the same email so that we can track your name across multiple sessions. So we'll give it another 30 seconds for folks to pull that up, but please, as you pull this up, pay attention to your devices as there's a bit of lag between when we pull up the question and the stream. So while we wait for that, let's pull up the leaderboard to see who is leading the audience competition. Nice. Emparedado still in number one. Got 16 of, it looks like the 20 questions that we've done thus far correct. Again, Wintermute in the top two spots. Fade, 14 out of 20 correct with 1939 and 1905. Not too far behind is FP Slow, XBT. As you can see, this man must know something about markets and hedging because he may be going home with some money, even though he is knocked out from the finalists. That being said, AB and Decentralinks, another Crypto IQ finalist, participating, and that rounds out the top five. But without further ado, I think it might be time for us to answer the audience participation question. So let's move on to audience participation question 21. Question 21, which person is the current CEO of Binance? And the questions are rolling in. Let's see what you guys are thinking at home. All right, good stuff. And the correct answer on that one was A. This is a visual, so I can't see it, but 56% of people at home got that right. That was a 400 pointer, so if you were down bad and you knew this one, you could have been right back in the game. Let's see the leaderboard, because there still is one more question. Do not go away. We'll check the leaderboard and then see. Well, actually, we'll see when the next matchup is after that. There's one more for today. So again, Wintermute. I don't know where these guys are, but they're always online to answer these Crypto IQ questions. Emparedado got that one right for an additional 82 points. Fade got that one for additional 79. And FV Slow also got that one for 71 points. So not much has changed on the leaderboard. AB has dropped a slot, even though it got that one right, looks like. Oh, no, sorry. FP Slow was above. Excuse me. But I digress. There still is one more. So if you haven't scanned that QR code, please do so. Join the audience participation portion. And in a moment, we will move on to the last question for this matchup. But oh, yeah, true. I may be seeing some lagging on my end, but let's see. We go to the rankings. Oh, yeah, that's true. They did jump. So there was a bit of lag on my end. Thank you, production, for catching that. What I said before, completely ignore. That was incorrect. the software is buggy. I got to talk to the devs. We'll go with that. But Fade is in the lead, got 299. Wow, answered pretty quickly on that one. Decentralinks in number 2 with 318 points. Oh, sorry, answered correctly, got 318 points on that one, total of 2,113. Emparedado, no answer. FB Slow, no answer. And Ab, no answer. But Shard, Maris, Serby, Trophy, and Colonel Panic, I see you. Keep grinding on the leaderboard. You can make it all back in one question. All right. There's one more question for the audience participation. Let's move on to question 22 for audience participation. Question 22, what platform is this? Is the correct answer A, Kalshi? Is it B, Predictit? Is it C, Rollbit? Or is it D, Polymarket? And wow, I gotta say, some of you answered lightning quick. 100% correctness. This is one of the few crypto IQ questions. That's what I mean. All you got to do is show up sometimes, and it could fall in your lap. The correct answer was D, Polymarket. And one more time, let's take a peek at that leaderboard before we sign off. The next matchup is at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is about an hour and a half from now. But if you look at the leaderboard, it is, wow, only 30 points. They are duking it out, and Decentralinks is coming back. This is what grinding on the audience participation looks like. I mean, honestly, Fade is in the lead with 2,466. Decentralinks second place, 2,436, and in third, Emparedado with 2,257 points. But Emparedado has 17 correct, but again, it's all about being correct. It's about being quick with crypto IQ. So that being said, that concludes our audience participation portion of this round. I'll see you again in about an hour and a half for Q versus Igor. That should be a good one. We got a protocol dev versus a guy who wants to liquidate you. I think it's going to be a good matchup. But before we sign off, I do want to say huge thank you to our sponsor, Polymarket, who made this competition possible. Jump on the waitlist on polymarket.com by using code THEBLOCK. That's THEBLOCK. I'm Kelvin Sparks, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.